Church, given everything that Michael Darby has put Ashley through, nobody would blame her for going through with that damn divorce. But the fact that Mama keeps hemming and hawing about whether or not she will divorce him or not divorce him leads me to believe she's truly not ready to end her marriage. So I'm going to tell Ashley just like I tell my friends, baby. If you not sure where you stand with the man, don't drag us into the damn confusion with you. I got my notes. I hope y'all got yours. Let's get on into this damn mess. Alright, baby, so jumping on in. Now listen, I am filming this video at night, baby, because I have just watched The Real Housewives of Potomac, and I told myself if I am moved to chorus, I will go ahead and do the damn review, okay? So I watched it and I feel good about it, so I figured let me stop being a procrastinator in my life and just get on to doing the things I need to do. So let's get on into it, y'all. So this episode was called Spring Awakening, and it's the season 7 premiere of The Real Housewives of Potomac. So let's start with Ashley. Now, first off and foremost, baby, the ladies as a whole, everybody looks good, okay? Everybody has had a nice little glow up since we last saw them. But in terms of the person who looks the best, in my opinion, baby, I'm going to give that award to Ashley, okay? I don't know if it's the divorce announcement glow or mama got some damn joy in her heart from, filing for divorce from this man, or, maybe she just, is in a renewed place in terms of herself, but she is literally glowing, and this is probably the best that I've ever seen Ashley look. So good job, mama. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. But let's get into this real drama in terms of whether or not the lady going to divorce the man. Now, listen. We have to call a spade in terms of what we're going to talk about first off, okay? Now, I've always said, when you have a lack of employable qualities, you have to get very specific and very realistic as to what it is you will and will not deal with in a relationship, okay? So while, Michael was doing everything from A to Zimbabwe and all of us would have left and stuff, Ashley was playing chess while we were playing checkers, okay? It takes a woman sometimes to see the bigger damn picture. In the eternal words of Gary Owens, baby, if that man is a billionaire, don't check his phone, leave him alone, okay? He's a billionaire. But if he makes $50,000, check his shit, because you can find another man who makes $50,000 a year, right? Now listen, Michael ain't no billionaire, but the tenet of the saying remains the same, okay? Ashley saw the bigger picture in her scenario. Now, let's just do the math real quick, right? Now, Ashley wouldn't go into how much the man is worth. I'd assume somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 20 million, maybe conservatively, Michael seems to have that real estate money, and it seems to be relatively long. So, listen. If Ashley has stayed with the man long enough to run out the prenup, right? So now she's entitled to half the man's assets, okay? So you got half the man's money. Number 2 and number 3, baby, is paycheck 1 and 2, which is the damn child support for the children, okay? So between half of his, income or half of his net worth, plus the 2 children and the child support, plus your new social media career, the salary that you're getting through the Real Housewives of Potomac and any ventures that spring from that association, you're literally in the best position that you have ever been in terms of being able to leave Michael and sustain yourself, right? So the thing about it, baby, is if everything is working in your favor to leave the man and you're still hemming and hawing as to whether or not you want to, it leads me to believe you truly do not want to leave him, okay? Because, Gizelle and Karen told the lady right, okay? Nobody buys a house with the man that they're about to divorce, okay? That literally defeats the purpose of separating from the man, deciding whose assets are whose and splitting everything down the middle or whatever the case may be, right? So normally, in a normal situation, when you're trying to get divorced, you want nothing from that man other than what you owed under the law or whatever. And you ready just to be, completely dissolved emotionally, spiritually, financially, etc. Okay? And the fact that you want to buy a damn house with the man and the Arlington market is very, very quick and you have to put in an offer through Michael's LLC, it leads me to believe that you kind of have reached a point in your relationship where you have more bargaining power, right? Because you have half of his net income, you have the children, which is paycheck one and paycheck two. And I don't mean that in a bad way, y'all. I'm just, listen, I'm at a dearth of time and I ain't got time to put it nice, okay? So paycheck one and two in terms of the children, right? But you literally have the bargaining power in this relationship that you did not have before, right? So you're saying to the man, I don't want to do the threesome stuff no more. I want to be monogamous, okay? I don't want to live in Arlington no more in, what was it, construction city or cement city in terms of what Karen said. I want to live out in the damn, the suburbs of Potomac in a nice sprawling mansion, okay? So you basically decided to trade off of your new bargaining power to get what you want. And that's really what it leads me to believe. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know if you feel the same way. But until something comes to the contrary in terms of why Ashley filed for divorce truly, and if she's really going to go through it, I'm going to believe that it seems to be more of a power move versus something that you actually wanted to do. Now listen, I have never been divorced. Apparently in the state of Virginia where, Ashley is, you have to basically be separated for a year before you can get divorced. So I'm sure there's a lot of emotions and stuff that go into that. And I'm sure she, goes back and forth daily and stuff. But to me, if she was truly gung-ho on getting out of the situation, she would have very straight, very clear and concise answers in terms of when people are asking, why is it ending? Are you truly leaving him? And is this the end of that relationship? And the fact that she doesn't leads me to believe there's something else going on. Now let's move on. Let's move on to Mia and talk about this Potomac rental house. Now listen, is it me, y'all, or is Mia's Potomac rental house giving you strong Toya and Eugene vibes from Married to Medicine? Okay, maybe it's just me. Now listen. For those of y'all who know me through this channel, y'all know I have a degree in accounting, okay? And baby, my inner accountant was throwing up gang signs in the back of my head that did not exist when Mia was going over the financials of this whole situation, right? So Mia done moved the family, her and Gordon, out to the damn, I guess, suburbs of Potomac, and now they're in this sprawling mansion, okay? Now they're renting the mansion for $10,000 a month, okay? So put that in your heads, y'all, $10,000 a month. Then Mia said the place wasn't up to their specifications, so they poured $65,000 into a home that they're renting, okay? My inner accountant is screaming. Why would you invest that level of money, essentially equating to over 6 months worth of rent in terms of what you're renting the property for, in upgrades for a house that you do not own and that you probably don't intend to stay in for the foreseeable future? That don't particularly make sense to me. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know if y'all peep that as well. So I don't know if this is keeping up with the Joneses or, not keeping up with our budgets or, trying to just do too much. But it truly does not make sense for me to spend that kind of level of money on a place that I'm renting for a temporary period. Now, if it's a whole rental to own thing, then maybe that's different. And I don't know the ins and outs of her contract, but it truly gives me very mismanagement of money. We need a budget based, example in terms of what is given. So I don't know. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know if I'm making too much of it, but it did, make my spidey senses in the back of my head, drum up a little bit. Now let's talk about Mia and this whole cancer or not situation. Now, I keep going back and forth in terms of how I feel about it, right? Because I have never been stricken with an issue of mortality, right? So I think it's kind of hard to tell somebody how to act in a situation where they feel that their life is being threatened, okay? If she truly felt that she could have had cancer and the doctors were telling her that it was a possibility, then, you have basically two options. Either you're completely transparent and you tell everything, or you keep it, close to the vest and you decide that you're not going to say anything until you know more actual information, okay? And Mia decided to be transparent with it. Now, the thing about it is you can kind of view it two ways. You can view it as her being transparent, or you can view it as her being, pick me, I'm looking for attention. And my question is the reason why we're viewing it as her looking for attention because she's in a reality TV show, or because we don't believe that she actually has this condition, okay? And once I get the answer to that question, I'll be able to move in terms of how I truly feel about it. But on the surface, listen, People tend to put their whole lives on social media these days. So I don't think that Mia did anything out of the stretch of the imagination in terms of, putting what she thought was going on or putting what she thought might happen, going on. But to me, it's all about interpretation. And if people take it a certain way, then listen, you can't help that. So if she hid it, people will say, why are you hiding it? You should have been more transparent. If she says something, then you're saying that she's doing it for attention. So perhaps mama is damned if she does and damned if she doesn't. So do what you want, Mia. Let's move on to Candiace and talk about her freezing her eggs. Y'all, I ain't got no problems with Candiace freezing her eggs. Good for her. Because, we are living in a day and age where women can decide when they want to have a baby. And I think that that is amazing, okay? And honestly and truthfully, Candiace's career is popping off right now. She on tour, she promoting the music, she has this show, she has this new platform. She's trying to get to every single bag that she can, okay? And when you're trying to get to every single bag that you can, sometimes the things that you truly want at your core in terms of motherhood may have to take a quick back seat, right? Because once you have a child, it's no longer about you anymore. It's about the kid. And, Candiace may be at that point where she's not truly ready to give up on her narrative right now and what she wants for herself, but she does want to prepare herself for a time where she has the time and, the longevity in order to sit down and focus on a child, right? So good for Candiace and good for modern medicine in terms of mama being able to freeze her eggs, okay? Now, Candiace arguing with Chris about regularity of his schedule. Candiace, sometimes I just think that you like to argue about things. Like, I think you just have an argumentative spirit at times. And I truly don't understand. If the man, last year the narrative was the man was living up under you and trying to ride off your coattails, okay? So now, that clearly wasn't the case in terms of, he had a job the entire time or, he was working towards, building up his career and stuff. Now the man is working and now you complaining about the regularity of his schedule. And just a quick caveat, I know the issue of him riding on her coattails wasn't Candiace's issue. It was her mama's issue, but I just had to put it in perspective, okay? Now, in terms of the man's schedule, it is what it is. To me, you can't be mad at the man for his schedule when your schedule is just as volatile, okay? Candiace, you cannot tell me that, filming for the Real Housewives of Potomac, doing the music thing, going out on tour, promoting your businesses, promoting your ventures is any less of an irregular schedule than the man doing, every single damn, entity from A to Zimbabwe in terms of his catering business or working at a restaurant or manage it in XYZ. Quiet as it's kept, his schedule is probably a bit more regular than yours. I think the problem is that he just seems to have, I guess, multiple jobs, or the jobs that he has have weird hours, and that's the case. But look, if the issue is regularity, girl, you're not ready to have the damn child right now anyway, in terms of you freezing your eggs. So what does it matter if his schedule is a bit erratic at the current time? So y'all drop down in the comments and let me know if I'm missing the mark on this one. But until you're truly ready to sit down, have a child, and make it an honest conversation, I mean, you can want him to have a more regular schedule, but I don't think it's really a necessity at this time if, in fact, he's building up to something, right? Now let's move on to Robyn and talk about this whole thing of, let's talk about marriage or not. I recently had an aha moment about Robyn, y'all. Robyn and Juan and the whole relationship. And what I came to realize, or what I came to think about, is I think that the whole marriage thing of will they or won't they is more of a construction that people have put on them versus something that they want for themselves. Because let's keep it 100. If you want to do something, you'll do it, okay? If you don't want to do something, you won't do it. People make time for things that they want to do, right? And the fact that this seems to always continually be on the back burner leads me to believe it's not a priority for them, okay? And so I think what Robyn and Juan have to do is kind of literally just say what it is. Some couples are not meant to get married, and that's okay. Listen, Oprah and Stedman been happy for 30, 35, 40 some odd years, honey, and there is no matrimony or marriage certificate anywhere to be found, okay? So it's not for everyone. And I think that if y'all would stop letting people put that pressure on you and have so much, you have so much ambiguity in terms of, will you get married? Do you want to get married? Should we get married? If you put what y'all relationship is on Front Street, then nobody can really say nothing about it. But because you keep hemming and hawing in terms of, I want to be married, or maybe I don't want to get married, it kind of puts people in a situation in terms of, yo, if this is something that she wants, she clearly has not reached it yet. So I truly don't know. In real time here, I think a couple months ago, there was some news that Robyn and Juan had filed for a marriage certificate, which meant that they had like a year or 9 months to a year to get married. So perhaps what we'll see by the end of this season is that they end up getting married in some sort of court ceremony or whatever and just put the kibosh on this whole thing. Either get married or don't. Now, in terms of Robyn talking about she want a prenup, listen, fair exchange ain't no robbery, okay? My only caveat to the whole situation, let me just take a step back. The first time Robyn and Juan got married, Juan was the breadwinner, right? Juan was the breadwinner because he was out there, doing the basketball stuff. She was the housewife. Now, in terms of Robyn asking for the prenup this go around, truthfully, I didn't have a problem with it until I remembered that it was Robyn's connection with the man that lost all Juan's money in the first place, okay? So listen, fair exchange ain't no robbery, but when you have the caveat of, you lost all my damn money, okay, through your friend or Robyn's friend or whatever the case may be, baby, and now that you done got some money, you the breadwinner, now you want to lock it all away so I can't get none of it or half of what I'm entitled to in terms of being with you, I got a little teensy bit of problem with that. But listen, I am super pro prenup. I ain't got no problems with it. I think a lot of people need prenups, and you don't have to be rich to get a prenup. At its core, it says, whatever we come into the marriage with is our own separate property. Whatever we develop together, we split down the middle. Now, maybe Robyn's sticking point is that she don't want to hand somebody, 50% of embellished or the money that she gets from the Real Housewives of Potomac or whatever other ventures that you do on, social media or whatever. But, I think it's all workable, but I think it's going to be kind of a hard sell given that, you put the man's money in jeopardy in the first place. So y'all work that out amongst yourselves or go through the lawyers. Maybe he don't need 50% of your embellished business or whatever you doing, Robyn, now in the house flipping stuff. Maybe, a smooth 44.5% would be good. Okay, y'all work that amongst yourselves. Okay, but I am pro prenup, but I think a little caveat is you lost the man's money in the first place. So you're going to have to give a little bit to maybe get a lot. Okay. Now let's move on to Gizelle and talk about this whole house progress. Gizelle, I'm a fan of giving credit where credit is due. And mama, listen, it takes a woman sometimes to see a larger vision. And I can honestly tell you that when I saw that damn shack in the woods, baby, I did not get it. I did not see the potential. I did not see what it could be. Now listen, construction on an old house can take a long time. So this has been a long time coming, okay? But the final result is 1,000 times better than how it started, Gizelle. Okay, so good for you. Now, the house still does look a little bit irregular in terms of, Gizelle's west wing or east wing, whatever you call it, being like this, square on the side and the rest of the house being kind of flat and then it's big here and small there. It's a little bit of an irregular shape, but I think what helped the whole style of it is you painted the house in terms of the exterior one solid color and you kept it continuous with the roof, right? So that helped to make the design a bit more cohesive than it would have been in terms of the old house looking a certain way, the new portions of the house being painted a different thing, and it all just being a bit mixed match. So good for you, Gizelle. Okay, I give credit where credit is due, mama. Now, in terms of this empty nester thing, she said Grace, got one more year with her, and then I guess the twins got, maybe a couple years or whatever. So Gizelle's talking about her next chapter in terms of she's fitting to be, an empty nester in this big old house. Now, Gizelle, I think she either told Karen or she told somebody, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, that she said that she wanted to, date around and stuff. My only thing is, Gizelle, what I wish for you is that this round of, your life in terms of your dating, people date on the level of their self-esteem. So I would hope that through Gizelle's trials and tribulations on this show, she's learned to kind of love herself more, and in doing so, she will attract a better quality of man to her, right? Because what I don't want for Gizelle is the same narrative of she goes out and gets the same type of man, he does the same type of stuff, and it's the same woe is me Gizelle type thing. So hopefully Gizelle has done some work on herself in terms of her self-esteem so that she can date at a higher vibrational level, and then that way, mama can be an empty nester with a poppin', social media life, and also a poppin' romantic life. So Good luck, Gizelle, and I hope that, the next man that comes into your life is somebody that's worthy of you, and I hope that it's somebody that reflects what, you truly need at your core and what you truly want going forward in your life. Now let's move on to Karen and talk about what's going on with her. So I really didn't write any sort of updates for Karen. She threw a party, okay? Karen was kind of like in the mix with everybody, but no real story, for herself yet. I guess her story this season will kind of come to fruition later. But I did want to talk about the introduction, or the reintroduction rather, of Charisse in terms of what that means for Karen. Now, I truly do not remember why they fell out. From looking at the previews, it looks like You Will Not Talk About My Mother, so maybe something fell out regarding that, y'all. It's been 7 seasons of Potomac, so please forgive me if I forget every nuance of every argument. But it seems like Charisse is being brought back as a sort of conflict point for Karen, right? So it'll be very interesting to see those two go at it. And it was very interesting when Robyn was talking about the actual grande dame of Potomac is Charisse, not Karen. So we'll see if that comment comes to bite her back in the ass. Okay, let's move on to Wendy. Ooh, this is a good one. Let's talk about Wendy and the scatterbrained career focus. Now listen. Dr. Wendy Osefo, Mama, I love you, okay? So I'm going to preface this with that because I want to set my intentions for this conversation, okay, through the screen, right? Now, I feel a kind of kindred spirit with Dr. Wendy because I'm a type of person that has a scatterbrain as well, in terms of I have all of these ideas and I just want to do them all because they just seem like, great ideas, and I think that they'd be, great businesses. That may be true. What I have found in the celebrity world, in the business world, in just the entrepreneurship world, is that you kind of need one idea to pop off first, right? One idea to be the leading one that kind of creates the space for all of the other ideas, right? So I'm not saying that you can't have multiple focus. I'm just saying you kind of need to make one thing a huge success, and then off of the success of that, you can branch off into all these other things, okay? Because Wendy, Mama, I love you, but it's like, you a professor, you a commentator down to the, CNBC or the MSNBC, then you're doing candles or whatnot, then you want to move into home goods. Now you're talking about a restaurant with Peter Thomas. It just seems like a lot of different things that you're doing, and I don't necessarily know if they're true to you as a person and true to what you truly want to do. So I think maybe some soul searching would be good in terms of what truly makes you happy and what can I actually focus my energy in to make a success that can pop off for everything else. For these kind of examples, I kind of love to use Kandi Burruss, because when you think about it, when Kandi came on Housewives, she was really known for music, okay? And Kandi made her music career popping, right, through Escape, through her solo stuff, through writing for other people. And that success with the music enabled her to get the funds and the notoriety and the success to branch off into all these other different avenues, right? So I'm fully supportive of Wendy and all of her different ventures. I'm just saying that perhaps, Mama, focus on one thing to be the leading entity that pops off so that you can do all of these different things. When she was talking with Peter, it was very nice to see Peter. It's cool how Peter, finds a way to stay, relevant in the back end and make his way through these different franchises and stuff. So nice to see Peter. Nice to see you, Papa Smurf. Peter's looking good. Peter's looking very successful. So good for Peter. But I think Peter kind of gave Wendy a reality check in terms of what business truly is and how much it costs to get started. When you're talking about a restaurant, a bar, a lounge, or whatever, those are kind of businesses that are in the restaurant vein, and those kind of have the 50 or 50% chance of, success or failure. And just like Peter was telling her, if you're getting, 20% of a $1.5 million business, you're going to have to, give me 300,000 and give me like 18 to 24 months in terms of, for you to get a return on this money. Okay. So like I said, I'm not counting you and Eddie's money. I think her husband's name is Eddie. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not counting their money, but I think it would be an easier conversation for you to go into these ventures if you had something that was paying you that level of money that was already popping on the side, that you could now funnel that money into this new venture. And that's all I'm talking about. Now, as far as the damn bar thing, Wendy, you're going to have to get a little bit more focused with this thing, because I don't see a business where from 6 to 3 a.m. it's a place of debauchery and adult fun and drinks and beverages and appetizers. Oh my, okay? And then from 2 to 4, baby, it's a library for the children, okay? Just like Peter said, no adults trying to get down and dirty at a place where the damn children is, reading books and stuff in the damn, daytime, okay? So you a little bit scatterbrained with it, but I like your ingenuity and I like your creative mind, okay? I'm just saying, work on your ideas a little bit more and flesh them out just a bit so that you can get successful at one thing that can pop off into different ventures. Now let's get on into this interaction with Gizelle down to Karen's party. Y'all, I'm a firm believer in if it's F me today, then it's F me next week, okay? And what Wendy did to Gizelle, Wendy gave Gizelle some hard facts about herself, okay? Did Gizelle deserve it? Probably. Gizelle is one of those type of people that she can dish it, but she has trouble taking it and receiving it, okay? Did Wendy say anything wrong to Gizelle in terms of what she said? No. 90% of what she said was facts. It was probably laced in a lot of malice in terms of the interactions that they were having at the time. But listen, sometimes, truth is like rain. It doesn't care who it's spread on, and it doesn't care how deep it go, okay? Now, I don't really know how she was talking about the lady family and stuff. Maybe Gizelle has kind of made the segue between you talking about the man disrespecting me in terms of her ex-husband. That's talking about her family. I don't truly know. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know if I'm missing something. But listen, like I said before, if it's F me today, then it's F me next week. And I don't have a problem with Gizelle giving Wendy the cold shoulder in terms of, you said XYZ about me, we're not in a good place, and you come over trying to, kumbaya and see how I am and be fake. That is very fake, okay? So I would do the same thing to you. Unless we've had a conversation on how to move forward, what is you over here talking to me for, okay? Give me a head nod and keep it moving. So I ain't had no problems with that. And y'all, I think that's really all I want to say on this episode. So if you like what I said, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all social media at DatDamnDasher. And until next time, y'all, keep your energy consistent with everyone. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.